Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Houston. Oh my goodness. When I tell you that City Council was good yesterday, City Council was just wonderful. I will tell you, it's probably a lot of hurt feelings around that horseshoe today. It has to be a lot of hurt feelings around that horseshoe again today because people got called out yesterday. People got called out. People got called out so much, I almost saw a tear. People got called out so bad. When, as adults that have to make tough decisions, we are a people of adults that have to make tough decisions. Now, you can always agree to disagree about the decision that you're going to make, but you have to vote a certain way, right? You can't be one of those middlemen people, okay? And it's going to be some tough decisions that's made that affects an entire people all in one swoop, okay? And I'm going to tell you for a person with personal experience about making decisions that affect tons and tons of people. When you're sitting around the desk, the table, the chair, in the room, and people ask you to make tough decisions with the information that you are given, you got to make a decision, okay? Sometimes, there's time limits, sometimes they're not, but tough decisions have to be made. So within making a tough decision, there comes consequences with tough decisions. When there comes consequences with tough decisions, you also have to be in mind, in lockstep, that you may make a bad decision. And as an adult, you have the ability to say, hey, per that decision that I made, I might have fucked this thing up. Like, this might not be a great decision that I made. But not when you profit from it. Okay? So, the mayor's budget, he profited from. So, everybody wants to talk about Trump. Let's go to Houston. Okay? The mayor had another life before he became mayor. Okay? This is not a shock. This is not a surprise. He's a grown-ass man. Okay? He's 80 years old at this point, okay? 70-something. Whoever. 80, 70-something, whatever. They close enough. So, he had another life. In his other life, he was basically a mediator, or he negotiated contracts, okay? With his ability to negotiate contracts, because he was an attorney back in the day, so he can negotiate contracts. He actually, his company that he sits on actually represents the fire department. Okay. So the $1 billion that the mayor grabs, the $1 billion that his firm grabs for the fire department, we still don't know how much the company actually got for this, okay? Perfectly fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of that whole conversation. Let's throw that out the window like that never happened, okay? What's the reason for bankrupting the city when there's no money to be made from the fire department? There's absolutely no money to be made at the fire department. The fire department is a service that we pay for everyone to be protected. So no one's getting paid. Citizens of Houston are not being paid to help fire department. That's not what that's about. You forget who your boss is. You forget who runs the city. So to give $1 billion when there's only one pie. It's a pie. It's a pie. You could slice it, dice it however you want to, but the pie is the pie. Okay. Fire failed to negotiate a contract damn near a decade ago. Whose fault is that? And I've said this multiple times. Whose fault that when you sat at the negotiating table, you decided to walk away and leave? Whose fault is that? Is that mine or is that yours? For me, and for my sanity, I had nothing to do with the negotiation of the fire department. So, unto me, I don't care that they struggled the next decade to get this deal done. Not on me. It wasn't on me. When I negotiated contracts for Hope Local 123, there was always a deal to be made. Is it always the best deal? Don't know. Is it always the better deal? Don't know. Because you're completely up against the wall when you're going to negotiate with the city, right? Remember, as a Houstonian, my tax dollars are actually fighting against me to make sure if I can make the best amount of money that I can. That's just the way the name of the game goes, okay? That's labor management together, okay? That's us wheeling and dealing together. So, Fire gets this huge contract. And the notion is, if Fire gets this huge contract, then everybody should get this huge contract. I mean, everybody should get a contract. Doesn't matter if it bankrupts the city or not. Everybody should get a contract. My philosophy is not like that. My philosophy is that you should have denied Fire. Because consequences and repercussions, when there are consequences and repercussions, sometimes if they're not a positive thing, sometimes they're negative. So your consequences and repercussions on a decade-long argument should have been solved a decade ago. You should have came up with the deal that you got on the table and took that deal and negotiated a better contract. You have the ability to do that. And police does that very well, because sometimes police will negotiate a contract every 6 months. They don't have no problem going back to the city. They go back to their city every 6 months. Every budget year, they'll go back. So they don't have a problem renegotiating contracts. So my thing is that you sat here on a decade-long argument, thinking that you were right for a decade long, for somebody to finally have the smarts to put it on the ballot, have the people vote for it, true enough, and then tell the people that the money is already sitting there for your bonus, your sal, anything. And it wasn't true. It wasn't true. It wasn't true then. It's not true now. There's no money for Fire. But Fire decided to get the biggest budget and wanted to have the biggest budget, wanted to have the biggest salary. So over 10 years, we're going to pay them $1 billion. But nobody questioned where the money was coming from. So what they're going to do is in August, remember y'all, the money has to come from somewhere. It doesn't just appear. John Whitmire's decision is that he's going to come to you in August for November for you to vote on raising your taxes. That's what it is. I tell you now, if you couldn't budget the money that I gave you then, now, why would I let you budget my money in the future? And I'm just not talking about John. I want everybody to remember, like, John, again, John is just the mayor of Houston. Think about every mayor, every county judge, even your president. When they're passing these budgets and you're doing all the clapping and shit, the problem is that do you want to give your money to the person that you're clapping to? Some of you would say yes. Some of you would say yes because you're slow. I'm going to tell you that if you mismanage my money the first time, why would I let you mismanage my money the second time? So you've seen that John Whitmire is a bad budget person. He doesn't budget well. He spends future dollars like he got them because it's not his dollar that he's spending. He's spending ours. Okay? Same thing with Trump. $4 trillion of debt in the next 10 years is going to be added to the deficit because it's not his money. He don't care. But you would kick all these people off of Medicaid and Medicare. Makes no sense. Same thing with John. So John decides to pass this budget that only helps the fire and the police officer. What happened to the citizen? Where is your care for the citizen? But he'll pass off nuggets to you. Oh, well, we're going to have one of the safest cities in America. I doubt that. I doubt that. I doubt that. I mean, I'm just going to put it on the table. I doubt that. I mean, you could say it, but I doubt it. Because you can't be the #1 trafficking city in the world and be like, we're going to be the safest city in the world. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Police reform is needed. No police reform was budgeted. So citizens of Houston, what did you get out of the deal? You got a police officer that you probably can't trust. That's just a fact. I mean, that's history. I'm not even trying to be negative with it. That's just history. You're going to have a police officer that you're going to bring on the force that you can't trust because you never know when they're going to have a mental breakdown because we don't support them mental health wise enough. I can't say at all, but not enough because we should do psych evaluations every year. Probably even every 6 months. Every 6 months. Lie detectors every 6 months to make sure they're not lying about a certain case. These are police reforms. Constant training every 6 months should be had. But we're still feeding technology to them. But the underlying problem is who is a criminal and who is not. The media will tell you, oh, it's black people because black people are so bad. Well, in fact, that most white people steal. That's statistics. Again, you can't have a huge population of one and then think someone else does more. That makes no sense. The math don't math right. Okay? The biggest recipients of SNAP is not black people. It's white people. And I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. What I'm saying to you is that when you throw me a huge budget and you're going to tell me it's a big, beautiful budget, because that's exactly what John Whitmire said too. I want y'all to know this, that these two people are not so far step away from each other. Like they're actually locked hand and step. Like they're actually do-si-doing around with each other. Because it's the exact same shit. You're going to pass a big, beautiful budget that turns into big, beautiful bullshit. And then someone has to pay for it on both levels. You're spending money that you don't have. And everybody... I'm here to tell you, a lot of people do not like you, John. A lot of people don't like you because you're a liar. And I don't think that's negative rhetoric. I just see what I'm seeing. I'm truly looking at the scene yesterday and telling you people don't like you. And you becoming mayor next term looks very slim to none. Because you're not doing what the people ask you to do. You're doing what big business asked you to do. And big business told you, hey, just mention the word crime and we can get more police officers, because that's what we want to spend our budget at. That's what we want to spend our money. We don't want to see the poor people gain access to anything or have resources to anything or have services to anything. What we would rather spend the money on is police officers to enforce on poor people. While we break every law ever known, ever mentioned, we actually would pay the money for you to look the other way when it comes to crimes we commit. Isn't that funny how that work out? Isn't that funny? That's crazy how money motivates. Money motivates. Money motivates you to have more police officers. Money motivates you to spend $1 billion on the fire department who can't put out a fire until the fire starts. How many fires do we have here in Houston a year? You think they're worth $1 billion? Probably $1 billion worth of property damage. But $1 billion to pay someone to go save me? I already paid you that. So I gotta pay you $80,000 to save me? I don't make $80,000. I mean, I'm not saying for me, but I'm just saying it's general. General. Do you make $80,000 to pay somebody to save you for $80,000? Is that how much your life is worth? $80,000? But you don't make $80,000. It's different when you make it. You make $30,000, $40,000, and now this person that's coming to save you has just outranked you in salary. But you pay them. I'm done. Power, money motivates power. Money motivates power. That's all I gotta say. I just want you to think about that all day today. Just think about it. Money motivates power. Y'all have a good one. I'll see y'all tomorrow.